Every year I replay Chrono Trigger from start to finish in an ordinary playthrough. I don't use New Game Plus, I just boot it up like normal and play over the course of a week or so, trying to get in that mindset of my first time ever playing what has become one of my favorite games of all time. But no matter how hard I try, I always fail to get myself in the proper mindset, in part because I've played the game before and thus cannot be surprised by the events of the trial. I think the trial is one of those brilliant design decisions that gets overlooked in a game full of brilliant design decisions, so I just want to spotlight this pretty unbelievable moment for a first-time player, and everything that comes with it. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger before, I can't stress enough how high of a recommendation I can give the game, and you should go into it blind to get the full feeling of what I'm talking about. But if you can't help yourself or need that next motivation to play, I guess I can't stop you. If you have played Chrono Trigger before, just try and put yourself in the mindset of clicking play for the first time. You boot it up and there's this incredible cutscene where, you see everyone like fighting like giant monsters and flying airships and whoa! And it looks like an epic scale adventure. And sure enough, it's going to be. But then you click play and you enter your name and it's a slow day. You're getting woken up in the morning and you walk to the fair and then you start learning how to play the game. And you're interacting with everything. You're clicking on every NPC, you're playing all the fair games, you're walking into all the buildings, you're just learning how to play the game. And if something looks clickable, you're gonna click on it. So that guy who challenges you to a drinking contest, yeah, he's gonna get clicked on. That cat, yeah, that's gonna get clicked on. Like the parcel in the top left, yeah, that's gonna get clicked on. Everything is gonna get clicked on because you're just learning how to play the game. And then randomly Marl crashes into you and everything goes flying. A pendant, a bright blue pendant that absolutely looks clickable, lands on the ground. So of course you're gonna go click on that. And then you're walking through the fair with Marl and it's all fun and you're fighting Gato and you're talking with Melchior and he's like, oh, I'll try and buy that pendant from you. And you're like, sure, why not? And you're just having a blast with it. The fair feels fun and it's a great introductory technique and making you comfortable with the mechanics that the game employs. But then, you get sent back in time and a whole new adventure starts up and then you really get into the meat and potatoes of the game. So everything that you were dealing with at the fair kind of starts to feel like a distant memory as, you're saving Leanne, who's actually Marl, and it's all pretty crazy. But the point is that you go through that first mission and you feel like a hero. You're literally saving the princess. And why wouldn't you feel like a hero? You've seen the opening cutscene that shows you that you're going on this epic adventure. You're the main character. You haven't spoken a word. That's all the more reason why you're a hero. And you go on this first mission and you definitely seem like a hero. You save the princess. You fix the timeline. And you're also treated like a hero at the castle after you've saved the queen. Everyone's talking about you. Everyone's so appreciative of you. So it's all the more weird when you go back to the present and you're treated like some criminal who kidnapped the princess. The dichotomy could not be any more clear. You were treated like a hero and now you're a villain. And the trial itself takes place in this beautiful room with this amazing 16-bit stained glass and the members of the court moving their heads. It's honestly beautiful to look at. It's a little bit surreal. And then the trial starts. And sure, the question is, did you kidnap the princess or not? And the answer to that is no, obviously. But the actions that you took during the fair sequence suddenly come back to bite you. That parcel by Gato, that was a guy's lunch, and he's not happy about that. That cat that you found, that belonged to a little girl, and if you didn't give it back to her, that's not great either. You obsessively clicking on things, like after you bump into Marl and go straight to the pendant, you shouldn't have done that, because you weren't checking on the girl first. And when Marl tries to buy that candy, why wouldn't you try and run away? Because it's not the gentlemanly thing to do. You should wait patiently by her side. And God forbid if you tried to sell Melchior the merchant the pendant. What the trial does is it plays with your expectations. You think to yourself, oh, it's a game, so I'm allowed to be impatient. I'm supposed to click on clickable things. But then the game comes back at you and it says, wow, that's not very hero-like. Are you sure you're actually a good person? The trial convinces you that your actions have consequences, even small things that maybe you didn't think about. Maybe if you hadn't done those things, you wouldn't have gone to jail. But of course, New Game Plus, if you decide to do it again, shows you that regardless of the outcome, you're going to jail. Chrono Trigger is saying that this isn't an ordinary game. Things that you do in the world will affect your experience. Of course, it's still a mostly linear game until the final arc, but it matters that you get in the mindset of consequences, because then it does indeed feel like your actions are your own, regardless of when you are in the story. When you beat a boss, you're like, oh, I chose to beat that boss. When you pick up a new teammate, it's like, oh yeah, I wanted this new person. Your actions feel like they have consequences, even if everything is still, very linearly scripted. I don't know anyone who wasn't found guilty on their first time playing through the game. mostly because it goes against your gamer sensibilities. Why wouldn't you click on the things that are clickable? It just doesn't make sense. But the game in a way is telling you to slow down and think things through. And it's almost asking you to slow down. When Marl's waiting for Candy, if you try and run off, she's like, hey, hold up. There's no rush. The game is saying that, there's a lot to it. There's depth to it. Don't just try and rush through for the sake of getting through it as quickly as possible. The good experiences will come when they come. And when you think that your actions have consequences, that's when you get into the mind of the protagonist. That's when you become Chrono. And the trial, which runs for like maybe all of 5 minutes, shorter than this video even, accomplishes all of that and more. Chrono Trigger is a masterpiece from start to finish, but this one brief moment in an amazing game stands to me as one of the most unforgettable moments, and highlights the design insights that the development team at Square had even from as early as 1995. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger, I sincerely recommend that you do, and hope that this video was reason enough to go give it a try. Thanks for watching.